Okay, so it is officially The Life of a Showgirl by Taylor Swift Eve, and it is currently 2:49 in the afternoon, and I am about to go bake some cookies. I'm going to make the chai sugar cookies that Taylor is famous for. I'm gonna make a small batch because I know that it's really only going to be me and my mom who want to have these chai sugar cookies, and maybe not even her, I don't know. She didn't really love them the last time I made them, but they are really good, and she actually took a bunch of them to her work last time I made them and they all loved it, so I'm not worried. They're obviously good. I think that my family is just really picky, and of course I'm picky too, but like not with that kind of stuff. Like I really enjoyed it last time I made it, so I'm super excited. I have all of the ingredients. I actually have to make sure that I have the ingredients to make the frosting, and if I don't, then it's totally fine, I won't make it, but I just need to figure out if I have the right sugar for it, like powdered sugar, so we'll see about that. But yeah, I'm super excited. I think we're gonna order pizza later on tonight, and also we are watching like postseason baseball. We are going to be watching the 49ers play Thursday night football, and I am just so excited, and we'll have all day on Friday to listen to the album and get it memorized, and then on Saturday we will be going to the Taylor Swift movie, the movie thing that she's doing for this album. I'm so excited. I already have tickets. It's all planned out. We are going, I think, at around like 7 o'clock at night, so it's gonna be really fun. I'm just so excited. I'm so pumped, and I will be bringing you guys along with me the entire way. So this is gonna be kind of a pretty big like Taylor centric vlog, so I don't expect for this to be like a highly viewed vlog. That's totally fine. This is mainly for me. This is mainly to celebrate Taylor Swift and her new album and celebrate how much I love her music, and I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. So we're gonna go and make the sugar cookies and see if I have all of the correct ingredients. Okay, so it has been a little bit since I last filmed a clip, and that's actually kind of on purpose because, like I said at the beginning of this vlog, I wanted this to mainly be about The Life of a Showgirl by Taylor Swift. And of course it's not like the entirety of what this vlog is, but I did want to dedicate a good portion of it to the album and like to my thoughts and all of that. So I really needed to kind of like let it marinate and like let myself really experience not only the album but also the movie and all that kind of stuff, and really think about what my thoughts and opinions are. And that's been really hard, because if you have been anywhere on the internet in the past week, you've just been kind of bombarded by like everyone and their mother's opinion on the album, whether they love Taylor, whether they hate her guts, whether they are indifferent, anything. Everybody feels like they have to put in their 2 cents about Taylor Swift, which is just crazy, but also kind of shows like what cultural phenomenon, like how much of a cultural phenomenon she really is. And it's been crazy. So it's been really hard to kind of like formulate my own opinions and not feel like I am constantly having to frame them around what other people's opinions are and kind of like take my thoughts out of that context. It's been difficult. So I've been really thinking about it, and I've been really living with this album. And my first impression of the album was that I enjoyed it on a surface level, but when I kind of like looked at the lyrics and like thought about things, I didn't love this album nearly as much as any of her other albums. I think that, you know, if I had to rank them, it would probably be at the bottom. But now, having seen the movie, having watched some of the interviews that she's done recently, and also just like living with this album, I like it a lot more than I initially thought I did. And there are intentions with each of these songs that I kind of missed on first listen, and also just like perspective changes and context, just like being more informed on like what she wanted to do with this album. And I think that that really strengthened and enriched the experience for me. However, that still doesn't really change the fact that I feel like this is not her strongest work, and that I feel like this is definitely somewhere down towards the bottom of the list for me, around like Speak Now, maybe below Speak Now. And if you didn't know, I love Speak Now, and I love all of her albums. It's just like, obviously something has to be at the bottom. And this one just, for me, does not live up to even a lot of her like incredible pop music. Like 1989, Pop Bible, it doesn't live up to 1989, which is kind of a bummer, because she did say that it would have like a 1989 sound, and I'm not hearing 1989. I'm hearing more of like Reputation and a little bit of Lover, a little bit of Midnights, but not really all that much of 1989. I will say that a lot of the vault tracks for 1989 Taylor's version, that's what The Life of a Showgirl sounds like. It doesn't sound like the typical like standard 1989. It sounds like the vault tracks, which to me, that's not 1989 sound, if that makes any sense. Like, that's not the standard sound. It is part of it, but it's not what you would think of when you're like, oh, think of 1989. You're like thinking of Style or Wildest Dreams or even Shake It Off or Blank Space or whatever. And then she made the fatal mistake of saying that it would have the storytelling qualities of Folklore, which sets people up for really, really bad expectations, really wrong expectations, really, really high expectations. And what was so beautiful about the storytelling in Folklore was not only the fact that it told these really intricate and layered and interesting stories, but also that the lyrics matched the storytelling. And with Life of a Showgirl, while there are some elements of that folklore storytelling in songs like The Fate of Ophelia, or even kind of like Elizabeth Taylor, or Ruin the Friendship, or even the titular song The Life of a Showgirl, it doesn't follow throughout the entire album, and the lyricism is too inconsistent throughout the entire album for it to be at the same level as a folklore storytelling, which is not just storytelling but also lyricism. And so I think that she kind of made that fatal error of even mentioning the name Folklore in tandem with the Life of a Showgirl album. I think that was an incredibly huge mistake and really set the album up for a little bit of failure in messaging and in the way that it was going to connect with the audience. I wish that she would have never mentioned Folklore. I wish that she had never put that into anybody's mind. I wish that she had never put that into my mind, because then it really just sets itself up for not living up to expectations. I think that's like kind of like my biggest takeaway from the album, is that there were a lot of good intentions with this album. I really like the theme, I like the perspective, and there are a lot of songs that I do really enjoy. Like, I would say that my top 3 would probably be something like Ruin the Friendship, The Fate of Ophelia, and Opalite. I think those are my top 3 favorites. I also really like Elizabeth Taylor. I have grown to like Father Figure, but it's still not like a fave of mine. I do like the titular song, The Life of a Showgirl, even though now that when I listen to it, I can't unhear Cool by the Jonas Brothers. Like it infected my brain, and now I can't unhear it, and so it's a little bit tough. But I think, oh, and I also really, really enjoy Wood. That might also be somewhere in my top 3, 4, 5-ish area. But other than that, like, I did not like Cancelled. I did not like Wishlist. I did not like Almost Romantic. I think those were my bottom 3 songs. Like, those were the songs that I cannot find myself enjoying. Also, Eldest Daughter has to be in the conversation as well, because I also did not like that song. I understand the intentions of all those songs, so it's not something that I need to like have explained to me, because I totally understand what the songs are about and what they're trying to convey, but I don't like the way that they were conveyed. I don't like the mode, the transportation of the lyrics, the way that the theme was being transported into my brain. I didn't like that. I just think that the execution on those songs was clumsy and didn't really translate very well in comparison to the much stronger songs on the album, like The Fate of Ophelia. Like, it's hard when there are incredible songs on an album and then really mid songs on an album, because it makes the mid songs look even worse. So I think that's something that a lot of people are kind of struggling with, and it's something that I am also struggling with. So I did end up kind of saying like I would give this album like a 6.7 out of 10, and I think that that's pretty fair. I think that that is kind of around the same rating I would give it now, maybe anywhere from like 6.5 to 7.5. That's kind of like where I land when it comes to this album. But it's kind of unfortunate because with Taylor, I feel like with every album she kind of outdoes herself on every level with each album, and this one felt like such a huge step back, and I was really kind of bummed. And I think it all comes down to the people who she decided to artistically partner with for this album, which was Max Martin and Shellback, and I just did not see the vision that they were trying to convey. It didn't work for me, and it really made me realize how much I miss Jack Antonoff and also Aaron Dessner. So and I've always been a Jack Antonoff stan. I've always been a Jack Antonoff defender, but this really proved to me that I was right. That I was right the entire time, that people were shitting on Jack Antonoff for so long and being like, he's not pushing her, he's not, you know, whatever. But I think it really does prove that he was pushing her, that he was, you know, kind of like helping her hone her sound. And I think that because this album deviates so much from like the direction her sound was going, it's kind of jarring to the listener, to the person, to the crowd, to the fans. And I can see why people have had a hard time connecting to this album. So do I hate this album? Obviously not. There are a lot of songs on this album that I absolutely love. I love the music video so much. I had such an incredible time going to the movie and kind of getting to hear more about each of the songs and really getting to focus in on the lyrics and what they mean to her and what they mean to me, and, you know, having that sort of community experience with a bunch of other Swifties. And it was definitely a lot of fun, but this album just wasn't what I had expected from her. It's definitely different. It might grow on me within the next few months or even years. And I think that that's something that Taylor kind of said in one of her interviews. I believe it was her interview with Zane Lowe, and she kind of said something along the lines of, these albums are always going to be there. They're always there forever. They are always going to be there, and you never know when an album might speak to you. And she was kind of giving the examples of like fans saying that like, oh, I used to not really connect to Reputation until I went through other things in my life, and now Reputation is like my favorite album. And it's like, I think that that is a really good point, is that these albums that she puts out, they don't have to necessarily speak to you in that moment, they might speak to you 5 years down the line, or they might never speak to you, and that's totally fine. She's gonna put out new music. She's already said that she has no intention of retiring and that she actually finds that sentiment really offensive. And so that really makes me feel good as a lifelong Swiftie, basically. Like, I have been a Taylor Swift fan since like 2006, so it's been a long time. It's been nearly 20 years of being a Swiftie, and so it's nice to know that like this isn't the end all be all. You might not like this album, and that's totally fine. There will be other music. There will be other eras after this one that you might absolutely love. And hey, 5 years, 10 years down the line, you might really love and appreciate the life of a showgirl. You never know. But I think that at this moment, it wasn't for me personally. There are a lot of songs I like, but I mean, and opinions might change. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, those are just my thoughts on the life of a showgirl. Anyway, it is kind of warm today. It actually started off really beautiful, like a total fall crisp morning, and it was gorgeous, and then it hit like noon, and it had like almost a battle of it trying to stay cool but also wanting to be hot, and it was a little muggy, so that was kind of a bummer. But now I am drinking from my Halloween mug, and I have an iced coffee, and it's so good. This morning I made myself an iced vanilla matcha latte, and it was a freaking bomb. It was so good. I showed it to you guys. It was delectable. And I think I showed you guys the brand of matcha that I use and just kind of like how I make it. And I also ended up getting some sugar-free vanilla syrup, and chef's kiss. It was so good. But also I want to do a little bit of a book haul because I've gotten some really exciting books from publishers. I have a little stack right here of 4 books, and so we'll go right off the top. And this is one that I got yesterday, and I'm so excited because this is highly anticipated, for better or for worse. And this is also a YouTuber written book, which is really exciting. And it's also a YouTuber that I was watching years and years ago, like way before she was ever doing bookish content. I was watching her videos, and I am so intrigued to see what this book is like because I have no idea. And that is Just Friends by Haley Pham, and I have been a Haley Pham viewer for a very long time, like pre-pandemic. So it's been a long time, and I'm so excited to finally have this book in my hands and see what I think about it. And I want to ask you guys, because this book comes out in March of next year, should I do a dedicated reading vlog for this book? Let me know in the comments down below. I want to know what you guys think, or if you guys would even be interested in me reviewing this book on my channel. On the back it says, this heartwarming and swoon-worthy second chance romance about childhood friends reconnecting as adults is the highly anticipated debut novel from BookTok icon Haley Pham, which is kind of funny because I don't necessarily like connect her to BookTok. I connect her to booktube and like YouTube in general. So anyway, I mean, I get it. BookTok is like the hot topic. It's whatever. But I'm really excited about this book. I love friends to lovers. I love second chance romance, especially childhood friends to lovers and like a reconnecting plot line. That is my jam. So I'm really excited about this one. I can't wait to see what I think. And then the next book that I got, I think is a final copy. I don't think that this is an ARC, but this one is On the Savage Side by Tiffany McDaniel. And this is from the author that wrote the book Betty, which I have not read, but has been on my TBR for like the longest time. I really need to get to it. But look at this beautiful cover. This actually kind of reminds me a little bit of the life of a showgirl, right? Like kind of like the fate of Ophelia right here. And I love the colors. I love the spine. It's a beautiful book. From the New York Times book review, it says exceptionally inventive, striking, ethereal, and transcendent, which Those are key buzzwords. Those are great. On the back it says, Arcade and Daffodil are twins born 1 minute apart. With their fiery red hair and thirst for escape, they form an unbreakable bond nurtured by their grandmother's stories. Together they disappear into their imaginations and forge a world all their own. But what the two sisters can't escape are the generational ghosts that haunt their family. Growing up in the shadow of their rural Ohio town, the sisters cling tightly to each other. Years later, Arcade wrestles with the memories of her early life, just as a local woman is discovered drowned in the river. Soon, more bodies are found. As her friends disappear around her, Arcade is forced to reckon with the past while the killer circles closer. Arcade's promise to keep herself and her sister safe becomes increasingly desperate, and the powerful riptide of the savage side becomes more difficult to survive. And I am so excited to read this book. And the next arc that I ended up getting was Last First Kiss by Julian Winters. And this is a queer adult rom-com. And I'm super excited. I'm a little bummed. There's kind of some pen marks on the cover, which is kind of a bummer, but totally fine. It's just an arc. I think I've read a Julian Winters book before, and I think that I had kind of mixed feelings about it, and I don't even remember what book it was or when I read it, but I love giving authors another chance, and I am super excited to read this book. I think it'll be really interesting. On the back it says, sparks fly in the second chance M/M rom-com when an unlucky in love event planner realizes the man of honor at the high-profile wedding he's planning is the same man who broke his heart. And that sounds incredible. And like I said, I am a stan for second chance romances, so super excited to see how this goes. I'm also very picky with my second chance romances. I need them to be really well developed, so I'm super excited about this one. Okay, so one last book in this little haul, and that is The Second Chance Cinema by TLOAS. And this is obviously a finished, finalized copy. It's a beautiful hardcover, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And on the inside it says, an engaged couple discovers a magical movie theater that challenges what they know about themselves and each other in this captivating debut brimming with nostalgia and life-affirming wonder. So super excited to read this one. I hope that it is just as magical and beautiful as it seems, and I love this cover. It is so gorgeous. Look at how beautiful and glittery it is. I love it. So yeah, those are all of the books that I've gotten recently, and I should also give you guys a little bit of an update on my reading so far. So I spent kind of the morning trying to finish up the Bewitching by Silvia Moreno-Garcia, and I am currently 95% of the way through. I only have less than 20 minutes left of this audiobook, so I will be finishing it right after I'm done filming this clip. I will say that as strong of a writer as she is, as beautifully written as this is, and as interesting as it was in the beginning, I will say I feel like this book feels a little unfocused, especially in comparison to a lot of her other books that feel almost hyper-focused and like a very obvious point of view. This one feels a little bit like a collection of really good ideas, really strong ideas, but the execution feels a little jumbled, a little all over the place. Because basically you're following these three different timelines and perspectives. Two of them are directly kind of linked together because one follows this young woman, and it's in like the 90s, and she's going to college and kind of studying a lot of these like paranormal things. And then it follows the timeline of her grandmother in the early 1900s in Mexico, and kind of, you know, those two are very obviously linked together, and I really like that. And then you kind of have this secondary, or this like other plot line, this other kind of offshoot, and it's kind of more tied to the university that she is attending. And I can't see how everything is kind of linked together. I wish that there was some more of like a direct link from the main character, the character that's in the 90s, like her perspective. I wish that there was a link from that directly to the one that is kind of more linked to the university, and like I think it's kind of set in like the mid 1900s. So I wish that there was more of a link for all three of them instead of it kind of going off like this. I want it to be like this, like this. And I'm not seeing that connection between each of the stories, and I'm not really seeing what the point is necessarily. Like, and even from like the synopsis, it feels very vague. It feels very like there's obviously a good idea in here somewhere. There's obviously a theme in here somewhere. There's some sort of intention, but I can't really find it. I'm not really seeing what the point of this novel is. I don't know if it's going to be shown to the reader in the last like 5% of the novel, which if it is, then that's not really effective to me. And that's kind of a bummer because I've never really read a Silvia Moreno-Garcia book that I didn't at least give like a 4-star rating. Like, I've loved every single one of her books. So it's kind of tough, honestly, to like read a book from her and feel like I didn't like this. I didn't like this book. So I'm a little bit bummed, but I am glad that it's going to be over. Because I would love to move on to like a different Silvia Moreno-Garcia book, or just like a different book in general, and this one just was not doing it for me. So unfortunately, not loving it. But yeah, I feel like those are all of my updates for now. I am not sure how much I have filmed for this vlog, so we will see. I will definitely come back by the time that I finish the Bewitching, and I will let you guys know all of my final thoughts. Okay, so it is currently, let's see, 1:20 in the afternoon on Friday, and I just got done filming a video where I give some horror recommendations, and they all just fell off my bed, so that's great. Also, I just got this in the mail. Isn't this so cute? I was a little worried that I wouldn't like my hair back in like a little scarf, but I actually love it, and I think it's kind of like a good alternative to a hat. I've been wearing hats way too much lately, truly way too much. It's getting a little annoying, so I was like, you know what, I need a different kind of thing that I could put on my head where if I don't really want to do my hair that day or whatever, I can just throw it on and I'm not going to feel weird. And so I got this really cute scarf. I love it. I think it's adorable. I feel like a little bit of a fraud though, because I am wearing like my long sleeve shirt, but I'm also wearing shorts. I don't know if I could show. Yeah, I'm wearing shorts. It's an illusion because it is kind of warm today. It's actually kind of a little bit cooler than it has been in the past. It's currently 70 degrees right now, but it feels good. It genuinely feels good, and we are going to cool off kind of after this weekend. This weekend's still going to be a little bit warm, but by Monday it's going to be 66 degrees, and by Tuesday it's going to be 64 degrees. So fingers crossed it chills off a little bit, because I need that for my soul and I need that for my life. I feel like that's everything for this vlog. I had such a good time filming it. I had such a good time talking about all of my thoughts about the life of a showgirl and also the Bewitching by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. Had such a good time with all of it, and honestly the roller coaster ride that the life of a showgirl took me on, crazy. The people on the internet deranged, truly. So many people, even people that I follow that are typically very thoughtful, very nuanced, very complex thinkers, they lost their minds. The Taylor Swift derangement syndrome should be studied by science, because whether you love her or you hate her, there is this like psychosis that people go through, that people experience whenever Taylor does literally anything, whenever she breathes. Like, people just experience like derangement, where I'm like, you're normally a normal person. You're typically very thoughtful and very like, you know, whatever, like balanced, and yet when Taylor gets brought up, you turn into a different person. You're weird. You start believing weird things. You start believing in like conspiracy theories. And I'm like, you're normal. I thought you were normal. I had to unfollow so many people that I genuinely respected because they were acting insane and believing in these insane conspiracies. And I'm like, we're done. We're done. Because once you show me your true colors one time, that's it. I'm the type of person that when someone tells you who they are, believe them. Believe it. Because they aren't going to lie to you about who they are. So regardless of whether people liked her or didn't like her or whatever, if you acted like a freak, I probably unfollowed you. Whether you liked her or didn't like her, it doesn't matter. It's over. Like, I'm sorry. I can't do the Swiftie or anti-Swiftie derangement. I just can't. I mean, I'm a Swiftie. I love Taylor. I enjoyed the album. There were definite critiques of the album, and I think that that's fine. And there were so many people who put their critiques out there that I didn't unfollow, because I respect their opinions and I felt like they gave a really complex and nuanced critique of the album and of Taylor, that it doesn't affect me. It doesn't enrage me. It doesn't even bother me, because they did it in a way that is like normal person. Like, they had normal thought processes, whereas there were so many people who critiqued her in ways that were deranged, that were not rooted in reality. So that's just my 2 cents. That's just how I experienced this album rollout, which was so much fun. No other artist gets this. No other artist experiences this kind of album rollout. This is truly insane. Truly insane. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I hope that people will start to come back to their senses. Like, it'll be like a whoa, what happened kind of experience. So yeah, thankfully I won't be around for when they finally wake up from the derangement. So yeah, that's whatever. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, and if you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also, go ahead and follow me on all the socials, Threads, Instagram, TikTok, Goodreads, Storygraph. All of those are going to be linked down below, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!